welcome back to Style with Substance and welcome to today's video. I am wanting to talk about this subject because I feel like it's really important to, one, acknowledge really huge milestones, and I'm really incredibly grateful for 40,000 subscribers, and it's a point that I didn't really acknowledge getting to in my YouTube career, and now that I'm here it feels remarkable. So one, I wanted to acknowledge that, and two, I wanted to talk about how I got to this point using the law of attraction. So if that sounds like something that would be of interest to you and you'd like to find out about how I did it, then please keep watching. So I think the first thing that is important to acknowledge is where you are, and in my journey through using the law of attraction, I've always focused in on where I'm trying to get to. Appreciating where you are is probably the single most important thing you can do to supercharge manifesting whatever it is that you desire. And I think I went through a period of time in which I was really focused on my goal and that number and what it would feel like to get there and all of those things, but I didn't take enough time to feel gratitude and appreciation for how far I'd come. And it was only when I started to look back at some of my old videos and look back at the videos that I'd created where I was thanking all of my subscribers for hitting a milestone that I had, since way surpassed and even in some cases doubled, that I really felt a strong appreciation for who I had developed into on this channel. Watching my videos actually is something that one, have to do to improve, but also it's something that I find a lot of enjoyment with, and I often watch the videos and feel a real sense of love and appreciation and pride for the girl that I'm looking back at. And I'm always kind of overcome with a feeling of, wow, look how far you've come. You didn't know at the time that you were recording this video that you would be where you are now, and yet you're still so joyful and you still have such a passion for it, and you are creating and you are enjoying every single minute of it. And I think that is something that I would definitely recommend. The law of attraction, The Secret, talks a lot about gratitude being one of the most powerful tools that you can use to manifesting your desires. And it kind of just goes with life lessons that I've learnt and picked up along the way, to be honest, because it's hard to find an appreciation for new things if you don't already feel great about what you already have. And I think it's feeling great about what you already have that brings more amazing things into your life. Tip number 2 is key, and there's no getting around it. When it comes to YouTube, really you have to put the work in. And I would say the number one thing to bear in mind is to be consistent in putting the work in. I've found that there's really no use in churning out loads and loads of content in one short period of time, or one focused period of time, and then doing nothing for like 2 to 3 months. Keeping things manageable, 1 video a week, pick a day of the week on which you upload and make that an optimum day as far as traffic on YouTube and people sitting down to watch videos. Dedicating yourself to that and committing to that and just going at that constantly. And I did that for I think there was a good year where I did not miss a single Sunday upload, bar 1 or 2. So honestly, you have to put the work in, but you have to put the work in consistently, if that makes sense. As much as you can really go hard for a short period of time and then feel like you need to rest, I just don't think that that's a sustainable way to grow an audience. And while some people might find that their numbers or their engagement doesn't suffer if they operate their channels like that, I think if you're trying to grow a loyal following who will stick with you and who will support any initiatives that you bring into your content, then that's the way to do it. So pick a day, stick to that every week, at least 1 video, and do that for at least a period of a year and tell me if you don't grow significantly. So visualization is something that I've experimented with, and as you guys know, I've had a vision board, I've had notes in my phone, I have visualized the kind of life I'd be living if I were a full-time YouTuber of X number of subscribers. But I'll be honest, I'd never actually visualized getting to the 40k mark, and I think that's why visualization didn't necessarily play a huge role in this, but I would say it's very important. I think what I've always been visualizing is the big goalpost, which is 100k, and not the small milestones in between. So if there was anything that I would go back and change, I would visualize these steps in between that we don't always acknowledge or that we don't always give enough credit to, but these are the ones that get us to the big milestones. So visualizing getting to your next 10k or your next 1k or your next 100 subscribers, those are the small victories that you can really relish in, because they're a little bit more achievable in a shorter period of time, and when you do hit those, it starts to build up your faith muscle. And affirmations are great. I think affirmations don't work unless you couple them with everything else that I've discussed. I think what affirmations are really good at doing is building up your belief and programming your mind to understand that what you are trying to manifest is a reality now. But I think if you're affirming something and then you're not doing things in your day-to-day that support that, it's going to be hard to then start to see things that sort of fit into that experience, and as a result really start to believe that this thing is possible. So I would say if you're going to go down the affirmations route, affirm things and then behave in a way that you would if you had hit that milestone. So if it's 50k or if it is 20k that you are working towards, then think about how your mindset would change if you had an audience of that size. Think about the level of quality that your content would need to be at in order to satisfy such an audience, because with a larger audience comes a large responsibility. So I would say that if you're not there quality wise or content wise or consistency wise, then you need to get where you would be. And I think people recognize that. Like even simple things like your setup. If your setup is very basic, invest in that, because what you're doing is you're investing in your growth. Read a book or do whatever it is that you feel like you need to do to get yourself to the same level of the people that you watch. So I would say just pick a YouTuber whose videos you love. Look at their setup, look at how they speak, look at their content and the types of content that they push out, and if that's similar to what you're trying to achieve, essentially mirror that. Like the clues are already out there. Affirmations work, it coupled with everything else, but I think you really have to elevate. So elevate mentally, but elevate in your actions and what you're doing, and what will follow and what will manifest into your experience is the number of subscribers that you are aiming to, or a growth in your subscribers. I think whenever you hit a smaller milestone in between, I think it's always important to say thank you. I think for every 5 or 10k increment that I've hit here on YouTube, I've made it a point to either make a dedicated video to thank everyone who subscribed so far, or I have included it within a video that I'm already filming anyway. I don't do that because I think, okay, if I do this, I'm going to get ultimately X number more subscribers. I do it because I genuinely feel thankful. There are a lot of people who are subscribed to my channel who have been around from my very first few videos, and if you saw some of my very first few videos, like if you go back on my channel, you'll see that we've come a really long way. And I'm not saying that what I was producing back then wasn't good, but I've grown as a person, and the types of things that I showcase here and the way in which I showcase content has definitely grown. And for people to say, I'm going to stick with this girl and see if she can really add some value in my life, and feedback to me when I do add value, is so amazing. They say that some of your biggest supporters are people you've never met before, and I can certainly vouch for that. Don't get me wrong, my friends and family are so supportive of my channel, but what really keeps me going is after I upload a video, I go into the comments section to respond, and I do try to respond to every single comment. Yes, it might not be immediately, but at least before the next video goes up, I like to make sure that I've responded to all the comments from the previous video. When I go through these comments and I see, to be honest, 95% positivity, excellent feedback, it makes me feel good. What I would always say to people is don't put a time limit on your dreams, because they can happen faster or slower or in a time frame that you could never even imagine. So never put a time limit on your dreams. Never put a cap on your dreams. Like, never feel like any dream is too big, because that's not up to you to decide ultimately. I think it's really around putting your heart and soul into what you're doing and making it the best that you physically can, and the results will show after. That's my story, how I got to 40k using the law of attraction, most times consciously, but a lot of times unconsciously. And I really hope that it can help somebody who's watching this and also trying to grow their audience to a similar stage. And really hope you take something away from this that is helpful and that will really aid you in getting to your goal. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking with me and for being so supportive and positive in the journey to 40k. And I hope that in the journey to the next big milestone that I can continue to deliver value for you guys, help you find solutions to some of the biggest issues and challenges that you're facing in your life, but really just provide you with a positive, motivational and fun space that you can come to just get away from the pressures of everyday life. Thanks for watching. I have been Nadreen, aka Style with Substance, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.